Hi everyone, and welcome to the Scrap Hoarders Holiday Collaboration Series. There are 7 of us crafters in this collaboration, and we are going to be showing you different ways to use your scraps. Last week was embellishments, this week is tags, and next week will be cards. I know we all have tons of scraps, whether it's from card making and paper crafting, or even leftover pieces of wrapping paper. Besides learning some fun ways to use your scraps, there's also going to be a grand prize drawing at the end of the 3 weeks, and there will be 3 prizes, and it is open internationally. And all of the information you're going to need about this hop and the giveaway are below in the description box, including a link to the next person in the lineup. And I hope you take the time to watch all 7 of us. So today's video is about making tags, and I know a lot of my viewers don't own a CRICUT, so let's just throw that out. And I know a lot of you don't have a CUTTLEBUG or a Big Shot, so let's throw that out too. Now some of you might have templates, but just in case, we're going to throw those out too. I think it's time to get back to basics. What do you think?
So when I said we're going to get back to basics, I wasn't exaggerating, because we're not using any die cutting machines or any store-bought templates, so you're going to have to find things around your house. And we all have canned foods, we all have, glasses or, cups or things like that, and most of us have cookie cutters, and of course there's rulers, and if you don't have a ruler, how about the side of a box just to give you a straight edge? Or if the box is the right size, you can use that for a template for your tag. And you will also need scissors and a pencil and a glue of your choice. And for me, my choice is Beacon 3-in-1. Now you're wondering, what is this over here? Well, I like my tags to be sturdier than just a piece of cardstock. And we're not going to be using something like chipboard because we are going to be using cardboard from food boxes. So just, any kind of food box, Kleenex box comes in really handy for making tags. And then you're wondering about this, and I'm going to show you that as soon as I move all of this out of the way. Okay, so this is just a scrap piece of cardstock, and it really doesn't even need to be this long. I mean, it can be any size. But what I've done is I just cut a corner out of it. I didn't measure in or up a certain amount. I just kind of cut it into, what I thought it should be. And what it's for is when you're making a tag that's, let's say, rectangle or square, and you want to, cut in on the corners to give it more of a tag look, just line this up on the side and on the top, and you draw a line, then flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Just line it up and draw a line, and there we go. Then just take your scissors and cut right on the line. And I could have made this one darker and easier to see, but wish me luck with that. We're going to say that's good. And there you have a tag, and it's even on both sides because you created your own template. Okay, and while we're at it, I am also going to cut out a round one. So let me draw around this. And a little bit difficult to do here on camera, but I think I got it. Okay, so there's my circle, but you know what? I want to make this look like an ornament, so I am going to add a piece right up here at the top, and I just freehanded that. Okay, and now I'm going to go cut this out, and we'll be back. So before we make some tags, I thought I would show you some tags that I've already made. And this one is the easiest one to make, and I really like it. I actually make these every year. And so instead of using scraps of paper, this is actually a piece of wrapping paper. And well, when Christmas comes around and we're wrapping presents, we have tons of wrapping paper scraps. So I just wanted you to know that you can use wrapping paper for any of these tags that we're doing. You don't even have to use scraps of, cardstock or, scrapbooking papers, because maybe you don't make cards or you don't scrapbook and you don't have those kinds of scraps around, but you will have tons of wrapping paper. So for this one, I just glued some wrapping paper to a piece of white cardstock and trimmed it all down, put a hole in it, put a ribbon, and we have a tag, and this is perfect. On the inside, you can write to and from. So easiest tags. I make these every year. All right, so another tag. This is one that I did using a can to cut out the circle. And I put paper on the back. I can put anything I want on the back, so I can put like to and from if I wanted to. And on the front, this is just a cutout that I had left over from, I don't know, 2-3 Christmases ago. And I just stamped a Merry Christmas sentiment on it and used foam tape to pop that up on top of this doily. So this is just a, paper doily. I'm pretty sure you could pick those up at the Dollar Tree. But I just, there is paper underneath here. I did paper it. It's the same as it's on the back. But I put the doily on. I added some gems, popped that on there, and this bow right there, I believe I got at the Dollar Tree like last year or the year before. They come in a package like this, and you can pick up all kinds of cool things there that you can use to decorate your tags. So really easy idea, but that is how I made that one, and I love these. These are sturdy. You can hear that because we are using, cardboard from our food boxes. Okay, and now to my favorite one. This one, I can't tell you who it's going to, but if she's watching, she probably already knows. But this one, I actually paper pieced, so talk about using scraps. I'm actually going to show you a really quick slideshow here in a minute to show you how I paper pieced this. And I absolutely love it. So that is a stamp. I'll show the stamp set as well. But here's the tag. Did a different paper on the back, stamped some snowflakes and a sentiment. And on the front, I added some gems. And you really can't see it. It's not showing up good. But I did use a glitter gel pen on some of these snowflakes. So that is just adorable. So let me show you how I did the paper piecing.
I used this Julie Netting stamp set, and it is called Warm Wishes, and I stamped it on a cream-colored cardstock, and then I cut that out. I also stamped it on the cardstocks and papers that I wanted to use for the different layers. Then I cut those out and started layering them onto the base piece that I had stamped. And as you can see here, I actually have that little skirt piece, and it's really not going to be seen because it's going to be under the dress, but I wanted to lift the dress up a little bit to give it some dimension and thought it would look good with that underneath it. But as you can see, I am layering all the pieces here, and then I colored her hair, and she is now complete.
Okay, let's get started with our first tag. So I have this scrap piece of cardstock, and I have my tag. And so I'm going to turn this over face down, and I am going to be gluing this to that. And you can use any glue you want. To be honest with you, normally I like to use spray adhesive just because it gives full coverage. But a wet glue works just as well. All the samples that I showed you, I used wet glue on those. Okay, so I'm going to just turn this over here, and actually I'm going to get it really close to an edge. That way I have less cutting to do. Okay, get that right up to the edge. All right. And now I'm going to set that aside to dry, and we will move on to the next part of this tag. So I'm going to be doing some stamping, and I've got this scrap piece of cardstock or paper, whatever it might be. And I'm going to be using this Christmas tree, and this stamp set came from one of my magazines. It was one of the freebies that come with the magazine, so there is no link for me to give you to this. And guess what? This is the first time I've used it. Holy cow. All right, so I'm just going to, I wonder if it'll go this way. Oh yeah, wasting less paper that way. Okay, get my magnets on here. And I am going to be using some Close to My Heart ink, an ink pad that is white. And I don't think they sell it anymore, but if they do, I'll put a link below. So let me get this inked up here. There's what it looks like. So I'm going to go cut it out, clean off my stamp, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got the Christmas tree fussy cut out, and I'm going to set that aside for right now. And the ink that I used for that is Close to My Heart White Daisy, and it's a pigment ink. And I did check, and they still sell it. It'll just be in a different type of different pad. Those are the old style, and the new style is magnetic. So that's how that would be. And now I'm going to be using New England Ivy ink, which is a water-based dye ink from Close to My Heart. And I'm going to be using that on the other side of this tag. So here's the tag that I had glued down, and I went ahead and cut that out. And you can put paper or cardstock on the back as well. But because of the, kind of old-fashioned look of this, I wanted to leave this just the way it is, so it's kind of, the box. The box look. And I've already got a stamp ready to go here. So let's get this stamped. And you know what's really weird is I don't think I've used this stamp either. I'm trying to use, stamps and things that I have in my craft room that I either haven't ever used or that I haven't used in a long time. And I don't know about you, but I have a lot of that. I buy things because I'm like, oh, I love it. Oh, that is just awesome. And oh, wow, that came out perfect on the first stamp. But, I want to start using things that I haven't used. So there we go. I've got that done. I probably could have done it twice, but I didn't want to take any chances, and it just looked great. So let me clean all this up, and I'll be right back. By the way, that stamp that I just used is from this Stampinda set, and it is called Kiddo Toyland. And also, I went ahead and punched a hole in my tag off camera, and I used my Crocodile, but you can use a hole punch or a pokey tool, whatever it is that you have that you want to use. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm still using this New England Ivy, and I am going to ink the edges of this tag all the way around and actually on both sides. There we go. And now it's time to start decorating. So staying with the kind of vintage or rustic look of this, I've decided to use twine instead of ribbon. And there we go. So we'll get that put on. And then I'm going to use one of those little bows that I showed you earlier that I think I got from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to glue that on right there. And then I'm going to be popping the tree up on here, and I'm going to be putting stickles on it. So I'm actually going to have to let that dry, but obviously, I'll be back, right? I keep saying that, I'll be back. So we're going to put that right there. And then I already have little foam dots on the back. So this is ready to pop up. And then I'll be putting the stickles on off camera because it'll just be easier to do. But got the tree right there. And I'll be putting stickles on like little ornaments all over it. So there we go. Isn't that beautiful? I love the way the tree turned out. It looks like it has snow on the branches, and it's got pretty red sparkly ornaments and a star at the top. So I'm quite happy with this one. What do you think? Okay, here we are down to our last ornament, and I already glued it onto the red cardstock and cut it out because I figured you didn't need to see that. And I also glued white on the back, and it was just a scrap, literally trash with other stuff on the back of it that no one's ever going to see. And I stamped the back and I inked the edges. So I've done pretty much everything, but I wanted to show you how I'm adding the little silver piece on the top of the ornament. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to grab a pencil. Here, let me get it more over here so I'm not wasting so much. Okay, and I'm just going to trace around that top piece, and then I'm going to turn it over and do the other thing, the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to go cut this out and glue it on, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like, but I just wanted to show you how I was going to get those pieces. And yep, a scrap. Lots of scraps today. That's what this is all about. And here is the finished ornament tag. In fact, it would make a cute ornament, right? Not just a tag. Anyways, I just love the little silver topper on it so that it really does look like an ornament. And I added a bow and put the hole in the top there and added the ribbon to hang it on a gift or wherever you want to hang it. And I really love the way that this one turned out.
I really enjoyed making these tags without using any fancy craft equipment, and I realize I used my MISTI, but I could have just as easily used an acrylic stamp block. And I hope you like these, and I would really love it if you'd leave a comment below letting me know which tag is your favorite. I realized this video was a little different, going back to basics and just kind of using what you have around the house. But I did this for all of my viewers that don't have all that fancy crafting equipment because I wanted you to see that you can still make beautiful things with what you have around your house. And if you are a crafter that has all that fancy stuff, guess what? Going back to basics can be fun sometimes. And don't forget that there's a link below in the description box to the next person in the lineup, because you're going to see all kinds of other wonderful ideas and creations in this collaboration, and you're not going to want to miss out on any of it. So thank you all for hopping along with us, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye. If you like this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, I hope you consider that too. And if you do, be sure to click the little bell next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos or giveaways. And I hope you stop by Crafters Castle on Facebook and also Crafters Castle Challenge blog to enter your creations.